Hi, my name is Perry Gilbert. Today I'll be walking you through a tutorial on how to create an animation using Adobe Flash. In this animation we'll be making a red ball and animating it to look like it's bouncing. This is Adobe Flash. This is what your generic workflow window looks like. You have your tools over here and your timeline down here and your properties window right here. Now to start off we need to make a ball. In order to make a ball we need to use the oval tool. The oval tool is located right here. If you don't see the oval tool right off the bat, you might see a rectangular tool instead if you just open Flash. In order to reveal the oval tool, just click and hold and then select the oval tool. Okay, now we need to draw our ball. But first, depending on if you use Flash recently or if this is your first time opening Flash, there are default colors that are set for stroke and fill. The stroke color is the color of the outline of whatever the object you create is. In this case, we want a black background or a black stroke color because we have a white background, and the black will show off the color of the ball more. So I'm going to go ahead and click here and make sure it's a nice black. Now, the inside color of the ball, you can pick whatever you want to be the color. I'm going to go ahead and use what Flash has, this default gradient color. There's a couple of them. I'm going to go ahead and make a red one. But this gives the ball kind of a 3D look. Alright, now in order to create the ball, all you do is click and drag till you have a nicely sized ball according to your liking. There's a pretty good looking ball. Now what we need to do is make this ball a group so we don't mess up the fill and the stroke colors. Let's see. If we switch back to the pointer, which is V on the keyboard, and select the fill color, you can see that they're not actually one object. The fill color and the stroke color are two different layers. We need to group them together so we can move both of them without worrying about messing them up. So if you ever have any errors at any time during this process, you can just hit Control Z to undo it. Alright, now we want to select everything that is here. So click and drag to select everything in the area that you want to select. Now that everything's together, we can group the object. To group the object, you hit Control G or undo that. Go to Modify, Group. And now we have a grouped object and the ball will all move together. Now what we want to do is go ahead and center the ball to our liking because centering things makes it look nice and neat. Alright, now we have our ball. Now we need to start animating it. So, in order to animate the ball, we have to make it look like a flipbook effect. And what I mean by that is, for every page you would have in a flipbook, you have a different position that the ball is in on the flipbook. So this is page 1. So now we need to create a second page, and to do that is called keyframing. So we need to make a new keyframe. To do this, you right click after the first frame, which is this dot right here, and select Insert Keyframe. And what this does is creates a new page, and it looks identical to the previous page that it was created from. So, now we have our second keyframe. Now we want to turn on what nifty tool that Flash has called Onion Skin. Onion Skin lets us see what we've done previously or after the current frame that we're on, depending on where you set these brackets right here. Now I'm going to have it so it follows everything behind it, so I can see where the ball has been. To show you what I mean, just make sure the ball is highlighted. I'm going to click and move the ball down slightly. As you can see, there's a faded version of the ball behind it. That shows us where it was on the previous frame. Now we move the ball about halfway down of its original position. We want to insert a new keyframe. So we go right click on the next frame, insert new keyframe, and move the ball down again. And we want to do this process one more time. Now we want to move the ball a little bit more than we did last time. So yeah, that looks about good. This shows that the ball is somewhat picking up speed on its fall to the ground. And we insert another keyframe. And again, we want to move the ball. And all I'm doing is hitting the down arrow on the keyboard. Yeah, that's about good. And then we want to do this again. Alright. And one more time. Okay. That's about as low as I want the ball to go. So, now we need to create the illusion that the ball is actually hitting something. And in order to do this, we need to change the shape of the ball. To do this, we hit either the Q key or the free transform tool is right here. I'm going to go ahead and hit Q though. And now we're going to take the top part of the box and move it down to make the ball look like it's being squished. But the ball needs to be wider so it hasn't lost any of its mass. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch it out on the side. That looks about good. Now I'm going to switch back to the pointer key using V. And then center it. That looks about right. Let's see. You can always move these frames and you'll see. Hey, it's already animated. Look at that. Okay. Now that the ball is squashed, we need to have it bounce off the ground and go up. So we're going to go ahead and insert a keyframe. And we're going to move this up. Let's move it to where the ball was on the frame right before it hit the ground. Now what we need to do is make the ball look like it came from the ground. To do this, we're going to, again, hit Q key to transform. And I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. In order to do that, you move it to this bottom corner just slightly off, and you'll get this rotate look. And we're going to turn the ball until it's just about vertical. There we go. Straighten it up just a little bit, because straight things looks nice. Alright, let's see how that looks. It's a little lopsided. That's better. Okay, now we want to make the ball just a little wider and a little shorter. There we go. And now we just want to line it up. Okay. Now we want to go ahead and insert another keyframe and then move this up. That looks good. Alright, now insert another keyframe. I know it's a long process, isn't it? And move it up just a little bit higher. And do this another time. Let's see, where was it on the first frame? I can actually see all the frames. Okay, so the ball is at its original height right here. So for our one time right here, we want to make this start look like it's at its original shape. So we're going to go ahead and transform it a little bit more. Make it more round. Rotate this. And make it a little bigger. That looks about like the size it was, just a little bit bigger. There we go. Alright, so now we want, the original frame was right here. So we don't want to make another frame, because what we're going to do to create the illusion that the ball is doing this, we're going to take, after the last frame right here, we're going to click and drag and highlight all of the keyframes. And what we're going to do is right click, copy frames, go to the vacant spot right after the last frame, right click, paste frames. And now what this does is we're making a loop, and you can do this for as many times as you want the ball to bounce. Alright, I'm going to right click on this last frame right here, paste frames, right click, paste frames, and let's do it one more time. Right click, paste frames. And this is an empty frame, so we don't really need that. So we'll go ahead and right click, remove this last frame. Okay. And now we have our own bouncy ball. So let's see it play. In order to play a test video of the animation that you've created, you go up to Control, Test Movie. And look, you have a bouncy ball. Isn't it cute? Okay. So now we know the animation works and everything's good. So now what you want to do is probably the most important part of the project. You need to save it. So to save it, you can either go to File, Save, or Save As, or if you're a shortcut person like me, Control S. And just pick a nice place you want to save it. I'm going to go ahead and save mine to the desktop. Things are easy to find there. And I'm going to name this Little Red Ball Demonstration. Save. And voila, we've made our very own little ball animation. Not too hard, not too simple, doesn't take a lot of time. The possibilities of Flash are nearly endless because it's all susceptible to your imagination. It can either be simpler than that or more complicated than just a little red bouncing ball, but that's Adobe Flash.